Hello, I am Nerd, and today we are going to do a first impressions sort of look at the starter Pokemon for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. This is going to be more of a stream of conscious type of video. Me not really knowing too much about it or where this video would be going in the first place. So, I guess to get it started, I do own Pokemon Violet and I do plan on playing it. You will see a playthrough video coming on Friday, so get excited, I guess. But I know that this Pokemon game is in Gen 9, so I am not. I would just say it says Gen 9 right there. Um, I do not know hardly any of the Pokemon in Gen 9, so when I do play it, it will be an experience. So, start with that. Let's get into what we'll be looking at today. Today, we're going to be looking at starter Pokemon. I've played a good amount of Pokemon. Well, not played, but I've experienced a lot of Pokemon. I've only played. I played a mystery dungeon game a while back, but I got to play Sword and Shield all the way through. So that was a fun experience for the most part. The DLC kind of got lacking towards the end, where they just let you get every legendary in a dungeon, which was boring after the 20th time. But today's, we are going to be looking at Sprigatito, Fuecoco, and Quaxley. Now, off first impressions alone, oh goodness, that didn't turn out too hot. There we go. Just looking at these three right here, Sprigatito is definitely a cat, and Quaxley is definitely a duck. I can guarantee that. However, I have to assume Fuecoco is either a reptile of some sort, maybe a lizard, or an alligator. I do not know their evolutions. But Fuecoco is the one I'm having the most trouble with figuring out what it's supposed to be. I do like Quaxley's hairdo. It looks very pompadour in nature. He is anthropomorphic, which is cool. I like Oshawott up here. I do like anthropomorphic animals. And Sprigatito is not anthropomorphic for sure. So, how about we dive in individually and see which Pokemon kind of speaks to me and gives some more details to see what I really think about them. Oh, goodness. Okay, here we are. So, Sprigatito is a grass type Pokemon. I could have assumed that by its green color. It is the grass cat Pokemon in Gen 9. It has 11.9% catch rate. It's pretty small. It's only about a foot tall, but I'd expect that to be because it is around the height of what a cat is. Because I have to assume that this is a cat, as it looks like one. Shape. Alright, side quest. Okay, this does not help me. Back to Sprigatito. Let's look at its base stats. It's a little fast, which is good, because that is typical for cats. Its attack is a little higher than its defense. I'd hope that it was. Being a cat and all that, usually they're more on the attack than they are getting back and defending. Its special attack and special defense are dead even, which is okay. I would prefer to see more HP, but I guess that's okay for, it being a starter Pokemon that you evolve later on. It being a grass type, it is, of course, weak to fire. But it is also weak to bug, poison, flying, and ice. But it is also resistant to electric grass and water and ground. And not immune to anything. It is a cat. In the end of the day, I'm going to be looking at this as if it is a cat. But it's also a grass cat. So let's move forward with that. Now let's look at its moves. Just by leveling up, it can get up to Play Rough at level 36. Anything here that speaks to me a lot? I like Seed Bomb, especially with its power and being a physical move. Don't have to worry about status or any sort of special criteria to do damage in the end. Energy Ball is good, typical grass type move. It is pretty high up there. So, Worry Seed. Sorry about this. What does Worry Seed do? Cannot sleep. Okay, can we... I guess that'll be good for any Pokemon that does have sleep. Not allowing any sort of healing factor with a rest of any sort. Quick Attack having 30 power points, typical. It is good. I would prefer Seed Bomb get more, same with Energy Ball, but I get balancing. Especially with, I believe Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is a multiplayer game, first and foremost, in a lot of ways. That was the big kind of factor, is playing with your friends in this game. So I could see why they'd want to balance it. Now, moves you can learn by TM. Anything here kind of speaking to me? Giga Drain. I like a good Giga Drain. Rest. You can straight up hit them with the Worry Seed and then taunt on them by taking your time. Sounds like fun. Solar Beam. A very good, one of my favorite grass moves particularly. No particular reason why, really, but I do like Solar Beam. It is fun. Any weird ones? I do like looking at some of the weird stuff that some Pokemon can learn. Like Shadow Claw. Technically, it is a ghost type move, but Sprigatito is not a ghost type. I kind of understand the fairy moves with Play Rough, Charm, and Disarming Voice. It is a cat, so that makes sense. By breeding, it can learn Sucker Punch, which is an interesting one, and Copycat, but it is a cat, so why you can learn it from Lucario, though, I have no idea. Maybe that's just me not being up to date on what's happening with Pokemon nowadays. Okay, and with this, how about we move on to its evolutions? Florigato. Oh, hey, that's a big picture. Florigato. Alright, moving in. It is a grass cat Pokemon. It does now stand on its hind legs. Same catch rate. It is now a foot and a couple inches taller than Sprigatito. Moving on to its stats. It has a higher attack. Its HP is increased by 11. That's always good. Its defense is now way lower than its attack. And its speed is still very high. It's a little higher than when the defense is. Its special defense increases by 3 points instead of being dead even on its special attack. It's weak and resistant to the same things as its previous evolution. Nothing here looks too crazy. It does get a few more levels of evolution moves. Leaf Storm being the most powerful one of them. Although Play Rough is a fine move. What does Leaf Storm do for me? Base power is 140. Oh wait, no, whoops. Okay, so it deals damage and lowers the user's special attack by 2 stages. That seems pretty strong, especially if your enemy is using a lot of special type move. It does only have 5 power points, so only using that a couple of times. By TM, it does have a larger list. Bullet Seed, Solar Beam, Grassy Slide, all being ones that I personally like a lot. Giga Drain. And then for weird ones, I do this one caught my eye, Thunder Punch. That is a very weird one for a grass type to be doing. And the same with the Shadow Claw. And maybe the Mud Slap. I know Sprigatito can learn Mud Slap, so it's not too weird, but it is a ground type move, but cats get dirty, so. And it has the same evolution moves by breeding. Okay. On to its final evolution, Meowscarada. Okay, it's now not a grass cat, it's a magician Pokemon. It is fully a human size. That is 4'11". That is the size of what a human could be. Same catch rate. Okay, on to its stats. It's now way faster than most of its other stats. Its attack kind of comes up with it. Only gained about 12 more HP since its last evolution. Its special attack is now higher than its special defense. Its defense is lower than its attack, which I believe was the same for the second evolution. But that speed is really fast. It's a really fast speed. And its attack being higher. It does have new resistances. Being a grass type, of course, fire, ice. But it's very weak to bug. But it's also weak to poison, flying, fighting, fairy. It's immune to psychic damage, which is interesting. I guess as a magician, it should be. And it's resistant to ground, ghost, water, grass, electric, and dark. And then those 4 at the top do not do anything. It can remember Double Team and Trick. And then I guess if you somehow get a level 1... I don't really understand how that works. I'm not going to think about it too much. But it can remember double team, and trick. It can learn Night Slash at level 38. Grassy Terrain, Leaf Storm, Knock Off. Great moves, great moves. Alright, now by TM, it has a expansive list of things, all being weird or not weird. Just immediately what something caught my eye, I believe. Yep, Aerial Ace, of course. Why not? A grass type can, of course, learn the flying type move. Same with Acrobatics. I know these moves have sort of just become very good, just moves in general, and so now I believe most Pokemon can learn Aerial Ace and Acrobatics. But it's just funny to kind of put in perspective. This is a cat that can now fly? So kind of silly. But we get Frenzy Plant as a new one. I believe Petal Blizzard was in the previous evolution. Throat Chop was not. Hyper Beam is new. Lower percent chance, very low power points. All these up here have very low power points. Only really using these when I need to, but it also, and I just realized this, Giga Impact. That's a fun one to use. Trick Room would be good, especially since it is a magician. So, interesting. A lot of interesting moves in here. Thief, Fake Tears. By breeding, it does not gain, and I think Petal Blizzard was there before. Leech Seed might be new. I might be forgetting that though. Well, all things considered, I think Sprigatito is a pretty good Pokemon. I don't know yet, but I am kind of more inclined to see if I would want to actually use Sprigatito when I do my playthrough later. Overall, I do think its stats are pretty good. I think there are some things to be desired when it comes into its previous evolutions. I know its speed and attack go pretty high, but its defense stays pretty low as well as its health. I believe once it gets up to its third evolution, I think it only goes up to about 70. So it's not really leaving a lot of room for error there. I like its moveset. I like that it becomes immune to fairy types as it becomes a quote-unquote magician grass type. So, or I guess you could say fairy grass type, but it's a magician cat now. So, that's Sprigatito. On to Fuecoco. And upon first look, it is a reptile. It is a fire crocodile Pokemon. It has the same catch rate as everything else. It is also very short. That's about a foot tall. That's about the size of Sprigatito, I believe. It's exactly the same height as Sprigatito. I guess they want to keep them slow and the same size, but they can make them a little bigger. On to its stats. It has a high HP kind of reservoir. Its defense is a little higher than its attack. Its special attack is actually pretty high for it being a starter. It's almost the same length as its HP. Very, very slow. And its special defense is has a little to be desired. Its type effectiveness. It is weak to water, rock, and ground. Water makes sense. I believe ground makes sense to me as well. It is resistant to bug, steel, fire, grass, ice, and fairy. And not really affected by others up there. Learning its moves, but just by leveling up, Incinerate is something that speaks to me. And Flamethrower. I like a good Flamethrower, and it has a lot of power points, so that looks pretty good. Plus, I imagine it does set them on fire, right? Yeah, burning the target. By TM, it has a pretty large list. Ironically, it can learn Seed Bomb. Cool. Cool. Thunder Fang does have some pretty big teeth, so I could see how that works out. But other than that, we have Overheat, Flare Blitz, Terra Blast. I believe Terra Blast is pretty available for most typical land animals or land Pokemon that are just on land, whether they're ground or in rock or not. And this is just me speaking out of my mind. I may not know or not. So don't take a lot of what I say with a large grain of salt. Take it with a large grain of salt. I could be saying nonsense at this point. By breeding, it can learn Belch from all these Pokemon up here. Curse from... Don't believe these are ghost types. Encore and Slack Off. Of course, Slack Off. Alright, moving on to its next evolution. Crocolore. Very interesting name. I do like its hat. I was going to say hat, but I don't know if that's actually a hat. Could be just its hair or head. Either way, that is besides the point. It is now 2 feet taller, almost 2 feet taller than it previously was. It's about the size of a small toddler. Going to its stats, has a lot of health. Its special attack actually overtakes its health now. Its speed is still very slow. It's still a very slow crocodile. Its attack is pretty low. And its defense is getting a little better. It's kind of reaching towards its HP, which is good. Special attack makes sense that it is so high because I imagine it's a fire type. It burns people. It's always going to have that burn effect in one of its moves. So that special attack being pretty high is actually pretty nice. I would like to see more speed in its next evolution and a little more attack, but we'll see when we get there. It's still resistant to all these, weak to all these, and not really affected by those at the top. The leveling up moves don't seem too much more crazy. Fire Blast and Will-O-Wisp, I believe, are the new additions. I like Will-O-Wisp. It's a pretty awesome move. And its TM list is also pretty much... No, it's not the same. I don't know. It looks almost identical. I'd have to look at both of them side by side in order to really get it, but I'm not going to spend too much time on this because it's interesting, it's important, but it's not that important to me right in this moment. Mud Slap. And it has the same moves you can learn by breeding. So, on to its final evolution. Skeledirge. It is a singer Pokemon. That's new. It's also a fire ghost. It is now 5'3", so it's got 2 more feet onto it. It's a pretty tall crocodile. And I have to understand. I want to know what does it mean by singer Pokemon? So this will be the first time. I know I haven't done it with the other Pokemon, but I kind of want to know what it means by singer. Skeledirge is a large red crocodilian Pokemon covered in rectangular scales. Its belly is angular and has a white coloration flanked by black stripes on either side, resembling an open suit jacket and dress shirt. It also has various white colored patterns on its head, lower jaw, neck, back, shoulders, arms, legs, and the cylindrical tip of its tail. The white coloration on the top of his head resembles a lute. Skeledirge has 3 black claws on each foot, and although it usually walks on all fours, it is capable of standing on its hind legs. Skeledirge's head is delineated with a black circular shape at the top. It has black eyes with yellow irises and red eyelids, serrated jaws with purple insides, and various square and triangular patterns that come in red, orange, yellow, and purple. A wreath of solid orange and yellow fire energy emerges from the back of Skeledirge's jaws, which circles around its head. This is not really telling me why it's the singer Pokemon. Oh, Skeledirge has a meddlesome but caring personality. Its singing is gentle but powerful and full of vitality, capable of soothing the souls of all who hears it. Opponents hearing its singing will feel warm and fulfilled inside, losing their will to battle. Skeledirge burns its enemies by unleashing flames that exceed temperatures of 5,400 degrees Fahrenheit, 3,000 Celsius. When Skeledirge sings, its Firebird transforms into a microphone for Skeledirge, growing its foot longer until it reaches the ground. Interesting. The bird is then powered up by the Skeledirge's singing, growing larger and flying towards its enemy. Skeledirge is the only Pokemon capable of knowing and learning Torch Song. That's very interesting. Okay. So far... Oh, goodness, excuse me. So far, Skeledirge and Fuecoco, for that matter, sound even more interesting than Sprigatito did. But I haven't looked at its stats, so let's keep going. It is not faster, okay. Its special attack is a lot higher, so is its defense. Its defense is actually pretty close to its HP still, but it's much higher. It kind of follows with its HP. Attack is kind of low. Its special defense is kind of low. Its speed is very low. It's very, very slow. But that special attack being high and the defense being higher is pretty good as well. Okay. It's normally damaged by flying, electric, psychic, and dragon. It's weak to ground, rock, ghost, water, and dark. It's immune to fighting and normal types, which is honestly very strong. I kind of like this combination. And it's resistant to poison, bug, steel, fire, grass, ice, and fairy. Very interesting. By leveling up, it can learn Torch Song. We just learned that. It can remember Yawn and Sing, which make total sense for what it is. It can learn Shadow Ball, for it being a ghost type, and Hex. But it also has Overheat and Fire Blast as some fire moves it can learn. With that special category, with that special move type listing for each of these moves, very good for Skeledirge. By TM, it has an expansive list, adding more ghost type moves. Alluring Voice makes sense. Scorching Sands kind of makes sense. It is a crocodile. Other than that, it has Poltergeist as well, an interesting move for a crocodile, but, I guess that makes sense. By breeding, it has the same regular moves, the same Pokemon. And that's Skeledirge and Crocalor and Fuecoco. And I will have to say, Fuecoco is kind of getting the upper hand on Sprigatito. I was kind of weary on Fuecoco and Crocalor, but Skeledirge definitely has put a it put an interest in my mind to pick a fire type. I usually don't pick fire types when I do play Pokemon. I'm usually a water type or a grass type type person. But Fuecoco is kind of giving me, maybe I play Fuecoco, especially with how good Skeledirge kind of seems. Kind of like the idea of it. Finally, we have Quaxley. It is the duckling Pokemon. I don't know if that's unique to him or not. I imagine it is. They try their best to make it unique, but I feel like Ducklet is a duckling Pokemon, but we'll keep going. It's a little taller than Fuecoco and Sprigatito, probably because of that pompadour hat and it's got hair it's got on it. Looking at its stats, everything's pretty close to even. Its attack kind of pulling forward just a little bit further than its HP by 10 points. Its type effectiveness, very regular, grass and electric. Resistance to steel, fire, water, and ice. Makes sense. Let's see. It is a bird, so learning wing attack, air slash, and acrobatics makes sense. That makes total sense. Liquidation is a good move. I like that. Not too much here that I'm super, that's really catching my eye. And just its leveling up base set. By TM, it can learn low kick. That's fun. Hydro Pump, Water Pledge, Whirlpool. Those are nice. Terra Blast, like I said earlier. Of course, it's going to have Terra Blast. Brave Bird. Aerial Ace, of course. These make more sense with Quaxley because it is a water type that is a bird. Or I guess duck, whichever one makes the most sense. By breeding, it can learn Detect, Last Resort from... What is that? I have no idea what that Pokemon is. Alright, hold up. Quick adventure. Who is this? Espathra, an ostrich Pokemon. Okay, we'll come back at that for that later. And Roost, and Rapid Spin from Squirtle, Wartortle, and Blastoise. I did not know they were in. Are they in this game? Interesting. Okay, moving on. We're going to move on to its next evolution, to Quaxwell, seeing that it is now the first of the 3 starters to actually change its Pokemon category instead of keeping what it originally was with its starter variant. It is 2 feet taller, still keeps that pompadour look, looks more angry though. I kind of liked Quaxley's sort of kind of, happy-go-lucky, nothing's really phasing me kind of look. But hey, you change when you grow, so totally get it. It also looks like its feet are boots now. Its stats stay pretty much exactly how they were before, very even all the way through, except for the attack being a little further. This time it's pulled ahead by 5 more points than its HP. Not particularly crazy. Its type effectiveness is exactly the same. So is its learning. Its learn set. It has Feather Dance now, which I don't know what it does. Lowers the target's attack. Interesting. Okay. And by TM, it has Feather Dance, Triple Axle. There's some new ones. Other than that, nothing really. Sleep Talk. Nothing really sort of calling to me. And unfortunately, that seems to be all for Quaxwell that I'm sort of interested in. Interesting. All right, moving on to its final evolution, and probably the one I'm the most scared of. Uh, just to pronounce, Quavel. Is that how you're supposed to pronounce that? Quavel. That's just what we're gonna call it. It's a water fighting type Pokemon, also known as the Dancer Pokemon. It's pretty tall. It's gained another two more feet, typical fashion for these starters. It's gained form into a similar humanoid figure that a lot of Pokemon, especially some of the starters, kind of turn into. They turn more humanoid. Blaziken is the first one that comes to mind. Looks very humanoid compared to its starting counterpart. Moving on to its stats, its attack is now way ahead of everything else. It's a little faster. Its HP goes up a little bit by, I believe, 15 points, but its attack kind of just pulls away, which I guess is good since it is a fighting type, as well as a water type. Moving on to its type effectiveness, it does not become immune to anything like the other Pokemon are. It is resistant to a little more dark, rock, bug, steel, fire, water, and ice. And it's weak to a little bit more flying, grass, electric, psychic, and fairy. Not really giving me a great incentive to play with Quaxly at the start. Moving on to its learn step, just by leveling up, it learns Aqua Step, and it can remember Counter. That's a good move. It can learn Mega Kick, and Wave Crash, and Close Combat. Makes sense. Not too happy about the power points there for Close Combat. Its TMs are now a lot more fighting types in here. Upper Hand, Close Combat, Reversal, Bulk Up, Brick Break, Low Sweep. Good. I like the sort of diversifying into different moves, especially as it gains a second energy type. Flip Turn. Now I gotta know what that means. Oh, it switches the user out. Interesting. Okay. By breeding, it is all the same ones. And that's Quaxly. Overall, I liked Quaxly. I'm not a huge fan of what happens at Quavel's level when it comes to its weaknesses and immunities to certain type effectivenesses. But I do like its sort of style. I like its sort of energy. It's not energy. Its stats being pretty even all around. All the way through its 3 evolutions. But overall, I think my favorite has to be Fuecoco, just because of its evolutions going to such strong heights, especially when you get to Skeledirge. Skeledirge really kind of spoke to me. Sprigatito is a close second. I do like its evolutions. I think going into a grass dark type is very good. It is lacking a little bit to me in its stats, because it really only increases its speed and attack, while its HP stays low pretty through and through. But it does become immune to, I believe, Fairy type when it gets up to its final evolution. And then unfortunately last has to be Quaxly. I think overall its stats, they do stay very, similar. They do stay very similar to each other. However, its immunities and honestly just my personal experience playing with water types in the past just kind of gets a little boring to me by the middle of my gameplay time. Um, and he seems like a safe pick. I would pick him if I didn't want to struggle a little bit. But I think I'm going to pick Fuecoco, and that's another thing. Its slowness will be a detriment. I know I didn't cover this. I forgot to. Its slowness will be a detriment to me, but it does have a very strong special attack and a lot of HP. So I think that is very useful. Plus, its type effectiveness becomes immune to some good, fighting and normal, which seems pretty strong in my eyes. We won't know until we try. Speaking of, I will be posting a part 1 of a playthrough on Friday, so definitely check that out. I'll probably have it done recorded by at least Thursday, and it will be out by Friday. So stick around for that. Get excited. I'm Nerd, and I hope you. Wow, we've been recording for 42 minutes. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. See ya.